All right, guys. This is a terrifying story, if I don't say so myself. In Common Dreams, Arctic warming nearly 4 times faster than Earth as a whole, study finds. Scientific data keeps showing that the situation is more urgent than we had previously thought. Scientists have been underestimating how rapidly the Arctic is heating up compared to the Earth as a whole, according to a new study which found the region is growing hotter nearly 4 times faster than the global average. Researchers at the Finnish Meteorological Institute in Helsinki found that between 1979, when advanced satellite measurements of global temperatures began, and 2021, the icy northern region warmed 3.8 times faster than the rest of the planet, nearly twice the rate that had long been estimated. We were frustrated by the fact that there's this saying that the Arctic is warming twice as fast as the globe. Mike Ranatanen, the lead author of the study, told the New York Times. But when you look at the data, you can easily see that it's close to 4. Rantanen and his colleagues began examining the issue after heat waves in Siberia drew international attention. A year ago, smoke from wildfires in the region drifted to the North Pole for the first time in recorded history. Climate scientists and the International Energy Agency have warned that humanity must stop extracting oil, coal, and gas and pumping carbon emissions into the atmosphere in order to keep the planet from heating more than 2 degrees Celsius above the pre-industrial temperatures. The heating of the globe has caused Arctic ice, such as the vast Greenland ice sheet, to melt at a faster rate than in the past. In addition to pushing sea levels up, melting ice becomes part of a feedback loop in the Arctic. While ice reflects heat from sunlight, water absorbs it, making it more likely that ice that comes into contact with warmer water will continue melting. That's a super important point, and that's a terrifying thing to ponder for a second. This part right here. Read that over, and then do yourself a favor, read it over again and think about it, and then read it over again and think about it. The worse it gets, the worse it'll get, basically. That's not good. Quote, that's why the temperature trends are the highest in those areas where the sea ice has declined the most. Some parts of the Arctic, including the Barents Sea, are warming 7 times faster than the global average. The research was published in Communications, Earth, and Environment as the U.S. House was preparing to take up the Inflation Reduction Act, and they go on to talk a little bit about that. Look, that's not good. And, I don't think it's an exaggeration to say that every single time I see a report on a new study on climate change, it says, oh, this is worse than what scientists thought the worst case scenario would be. Every time. It's without fail. And at some point, you need to grasp the reality that climate change is not something that's going to happen at some, undetermined date in the future. It's already happening now. We're already seeing the massive increase in extreme weather events, for example. The wildfires that are out of control and have taken up way more territory than they ever previously have. The superstorms that people are dealing with. Now, every time I look through the news, I just saw it the other day, there's this lake in Italy. The biggest lake in Italy is at its lowest point that it's ever been. There was some story coming out of Europe, I think it may have been the UK, but correct me if I'm wrong. I saw the headline where they said the water had gotten so low in a certain body of water where they saw writing on stone that had been there for generations that said something along the lines of, once you get this low, good luck to you. Like, the water level being this low, you got some rough times coming, dog. We're talking drought. We're talking famine. We're talking wars over water, which is something that I still don't think people have wrapped their mind around. Obviously, we're talking about sea level rise to the point where a lot of very well-known cities and even countries are sort of fucked in the long term. The Middle East becoming uninhabitable, where they have to have a giant refugee crisis and move out of there because you simply can't sustain human life there anymore because it's too damn hot. I mean, the downsides are tremendous. Even if you want to take the very hard-nosed, economic view of it, this is going to cost a shitload of money. Not doing anything costs more money than if you do something. It needs to be looked at as something we can use to move into the future to enrich everybody. So in other words, the next economic boom can and should be in green and renewable technology and rebuilding our infrastructure to away from fossil fuels. You can create millions and millions of jobs and create all these patents on all these new inventions that people need in the future. And we should be leading that charge. It's an opportunity. You can use this for a New Deal. But that's not how people think of it. And unfortunately, this will largely be ignored like every other hair on fire report about the climate. And so, I mean, look, the Inflation Reduction Act definitely has some positive steps in there. There's no doubt about it. But we're still nowhere near where we need to be, almost comically so. So, again, I wish I had better news to end this segment for you, but I don't. Ever since Adpocalypse, when YouTube defunded all independent news and politics overnight, we haven't trusted them. We know they can pull the rug out from underneath us at any time. If you enjoy this content, please consider tipping $1 or $2 per month on the Secular Talk Patreon. Link in the video description box below. Thanks for your support.